Let us start talking today just about aggression in general, and I'm going to pull a couple of slides from a bite prevention course that some colleagues and I designed, gosh, it's about 2 years ago now, specifically to present to adults. We decided that adults really didn't know how to not get bit by dogs, that many bite prevention programs are designed for children, and that's great. But I know a lot of adults, as we all do, who really provoke dogs to bite. So we decided that it might be nice to come up with a short program that we can educate the adult public. So I'm just pulling a couple slides from that because it illustrates what I want us to think about aggression today. And it is this concept that all dogs, all animals, have what's known as a bite threshold. So I'm going to give you graphically what that means. And it helps us get away from this general view of there being good dogs who don't bite and bad dogs who do bite. That's pretty much what the general public thinks, but it's false. So we have dogs, and all dogs will bite, given enough provocation. Okay, so if you have a dog who has bitten or is threatened to bite, it doesn't make them in the bad category. It makes them in the dog category. Classical conditioning is an association between two stimuli. That's what it is. It's the linkage of two stimuli. Now, when you read about classical conditioning, there's lots of initials. And I apologize, but I'll try to make them simple for you, and I'll try to only use them a little bit. But we have to somehow talk about which stimulus is which. So stimulus 1 has no intrinsic meaning. We sometimes call it the neutral stimulus, except I remember years ago, Gary Wilkes, a very famous trainer, saying, that's an oxymoron. How can you have a neutral stimulus? Well, you notice it, but it doesn't have any meaning to you. It's something you've kind of habituated to. It's a sight, sound, smell, taste, or touch you can perceive, but it doesn't have much meaning to you. That's called the conditional stimulus or the conditioned stimulus. You guys already know that that word conditional is going to have meaning to you. It's built up over time. It doesn't start off having any meaning. Stimulus 2 does have intrinsic meaning. Unconditional stimulus. It didn't have to be learned. That sight, sound, taste, smell, or touch means something to the animal naturally. Classical conditioning is a way that animals learn to predict things. It's a way that they look at their environment and say, if A happens, I know that B happens next. If A happens, it's predictable that B happens next. So I will react to A as if B is already present, because I know it's coming. Dogs anticipate all the time. We get in trouble in training situations when they anticipate the next thing in the behavior chain, because you always do it the same way and they know it's coming, so they'll just skip a step. If we know about anticipation, though, we can use it as a training tool. That's what we're doing here. We are consciously setting up an anticipation or expectation in the dog. Here's the skill that you need more than anything. What we talked about this morning is timing. You know how to set it up. You know a little bit about auditioning good ways to open the bar. I thought of something on lunch break that we didn't talk about that I think can be, because I was doing it with Nick, can be a very good alternative when you have a dog that's difficult to find food or a toy for, is chasing you. So sometimes that can be pretty joyous for dogs. They really usually like to chase humans, and to move fast and chase you can be a good one. It takes a lot of animation and energy from you, but when they see another dog, they go, woohoo, and have them run with you, that's an option. So put that kind of in your toolbox as a possibility for some of those harder to find good things for dogs. So if you know a little bit about the setup and timing, the thing that we haven't talked about yet, which is the real skill of doing this, is how do you design the gradations from the wading pool to the deep end of the pool? How do you move by inches of depth of water at a time? How do you start from a completely safe setting where drowning is not even possible to gradually moving toward real life deep end of the pool? How do you make a training situation both harder by a little bit for the dog, easier by a little bit from the dog? That's a great training skill to have, that you can take any training situation and come back to me and say, I can tell you 3 ways to make it easier for the dog. So some of the questions have come up today, but my dog would lunge in that situation. How would we make it easier? So let's go ahead and have Kelly come on in, just about twice as far as you came in last time. And we're just going to watch. Yeah, okay, so I'm sorry, I need to start talking again. And we have... No, that's okay. And we'll have you walk back out again. There was a little bit. Did you actually see how long there was a lock on at the end there? I mean, look. So still. So watch what just happened. Froze, locked, even at that distance. So that, look, There's a dog that went back there. Where'd that dog go? No, there wasn't any aggression there, but I'm surprised that the little butt of Annie walking out was enough to have Jade go, oh.
See, now that's a behavior I never realized was a signal.
Wait, it may not be the precursor to aggression. It simply was she sure noticed that there was a dog
and
walking
she did
out.
a little lick, which I...
You know, what I was going to say right before we did that trial is she looks deceptively calm. Because she's lying down, but she's kind of alert. Of course, this is a freaky setting, right? But I'm not sure she's quite as comfortable as she may be making us think. The worry furrows in her. Here's her brows all furrowed up.